Hi, my name is Hayes Vernon. It's the 8th of July, and this is my persuasive speech. My persuasive speech topic is the privatization of Social Security in the United States. One fact I'd like to start out with is that the Social Security program in the United States is the single largest government program in the world. It accounts for 24% of the U.S.'s spending in 2015, which is a whopping $888 billion. I think the best way to grasp the concept of this is to first understand where Social Security started and what it does. Social Security started in the 1930s as part of the New Deal under FDR. Basically, what Social Security does now is that anyone who works, you, me, we pay Social Security taxes on our payroll when we get paid, and you look at your pay stub and you see OASDI, I believe is what it is. That is for Social Security. So once the system works by everyone pays Social Security taxes on the income that they make. This goes to the government and is then redistributed for people who are retired or at the age of retirement so that they have something to live on once they have retired and no longer work. This system's been around for about 70 years. Like I said, it began in the 1930s. And so far it has worked decently well. In the 1960s, they began a new portion of Social Security that allowed for the rates that it was distributed and collected to be adjusted with inflation and deflation. So, when Social Security was implemented in the 1930s, 159 workers paid for one person's benefits, which is a pretty good ratio. However, now that we're 70 years through the process and more people, or we have a higher population, that number is dwindling down to about 2.8 workers per one beneficiary. According to the 2015 Social Security Trustees Report, the trust funds that are currently in the Social Security account would run out by about 2034. Now, that's not a guarantee, but it's an estimate that's been made, so it's always possible. So how does privatization of Social Security work? Well, one major thing to remember is that most people, like myself, who are saying that privatization of Social Security is the way to go, are not saying that Social Security should be gotten rid of completely. Basically, what we're saying is that privatizing Social Security should be a additional piece to the puzzle. So if you like Social Security and you like the way it works now, where you pay your money, or everyone pays their money and they get some money at the end of when they retire, you could stay on that system. One downfall of that system is that first off, the money that you make or you put into the system may not come back to you. So like if you put in so much and you only take out, if you put in, I don't know, $50,000 over your lifetime, you may not take out but $20,000. So that leaves $30,000 for other people. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that that's a lot of money that you could have put into your own personal savings account. One of the bigger downfalls of Social Security is that the money that you put in shows very low return on investment. Therefore, with the partial privatization of Social Security, which means the people who would like to do their own Social Security, or the people who would like to be in charge of their own retirement accounts, would be able to get a private account, and that would most likely allow them to get a higher return on their investment which is always a good thing. So that means that they put in $10,000 and they get out $10,000, or they might get out more depending on the way the investment goes. One thing that people may say about this is that, well, if they're investing it, and what if the stock market gets a hold of it, and instead of gaining money, they lose it all? Well, through the partial privatization of Social Security, that means for the people who want to, the way they would invest it would still be slightly guided by the government. In other words, it would be guaranteed in a sense, so they would not be able to do any risky moves with it. One downfall to the way the system works now is that if there is a surplus in the Social Security account, the government can take that surplus, so they could take the surplus of theoretically 150 million or 150 billion, whatever it is, and move it to another, whatever they deem necessary, defense, buying new cars for a government agency or whatever, what have you. They could put that towards that. So basically, in a sense, they're taking the money that is meant for retirement for you and everyone else and moving it to another section of the government. With a private account, you would be in charge of that, and you would be in charge of that money, and they could not suck it out of your bank account like they can now, or suck it out of the account like they can now and do whatever they deem necessary, which would leave you with more money in the end. So, in conclusion, privatizing Social Security would be very beneficial for most people, simply because it's your money for retirement. You can use it the way you want to. And another fact that would be beneficial to you is that when you put your money into that account, and that allows you to take that account, since it's no longer part of the government's whole system, and pass that down to your family. So back to the conclusion is the most important thing about Social Security is to remember that it's something that affects everyone. And while the current system is effective, there are also good alternatives and good accessories to the system. Thank you.